I am taking apart my Sirocco jumpsuit, well, just the pocket piece, because I am resizing it to gift to my sister. So this is where you have bodice, waistband, pants, and this is the pocket. I've just spent this time seam ripping. So here is where the pocket piece attaches to the waistband and down the leg. This is navy on navy, so I appreciate this is challenging. Anyways, where I had messed up on mine is this seam right here, which you can even see as it just lays is quite wavy because I stretched it out by including a ribbon here as a stabilizer for the pocket, like the slash pocket. Instead of using elastic, I thought I was being super smart and just so creative by doing that, and that I was going to be doing something fabulous, where actually it became the bane of my existence and created the floppiest pocket. This is what it looked like on the outside, and hopefully if I still have footage of that, it was in a previous video, which I will of course link, but it was just the worst. Anyways, so it's the seam right here where it would attach. Once you've, anyway, it is besides the point. You'll see it in the video. So I am going to, while I did seam rip to kind of gain access to this seam because it's quite embedded, I'm just going to cut right on the outside of where I serged and understitched it, like legitimately cut that part out. This is made out of what I believe to be a viscose French terry. My hope is that because this is a stretch garment, that, I don't know, 1/2 inch maybe, if I total that up, if that's maybe 1/4 inch, maybe let's say 5/8 of an inch of fabric that I'm losing by cutting this out, since that fabric is overlapped and all of that. That's why I'm assuming it's around 5/8 of an inch. I am hopeful that because it's stretch, listen, things are just going to give and not show. That things are just going to stretch into place and snap back, and I won't be reprimanded for removing this bit of fabric from this area of the garment. I'm going to redo the pocket. I am going to follow instructions, include whatever length, width of elastic is necessary in that little section there. Put that bad boy back together. I am going to leave it sleeveless. I just decided that. I had cut out pockets when I was making it for myself. However, because this has such a deep V, I actually feel like if I leave it sleeveless, it'll give my sister the option to wear it for more seasons than if I put the long sleeve that I had cut out for it on there. And I feel like if she wants to wear it in the winter, she could just layer it with a long shirt under it, because it already has a deep V. If she was going to wear it in the winter, I assume she'd want to cover that part up, the chest up anyways. And then if she wants to wear it when it's a bit warmer, again, if I'm assuming correctly that this is a viscose terry, it might still breathe really well in, like, let's say spring, then it's sleeveless. You know what I mean? Like if she wants to be comfy. So I just feel like this is going to give her a lot more versatility. So I am going to draft my own cuffs, because that is the only way I could think to finish off the sleeves in a way that I would like. So here's what I've removed. Just the bit that I feel like I fudged up. So that is off. Now, the repair of all of this, now that I've hacked into it, is going to have to be for another day once I've had rest. What I have done is measured flat, of course, not like stretching it, but measured around the arm side and also the leg opening. I think I'm going to add a cuff to the bottoms here. And I'm also going to make cuffs for both of those areas. I do have more of that fabric left. Of course, I have the sleeves that I cut out, but this is just like extra scraps. And I'm going to look for the greatest direction of stretch, make sure that I'm cutting from that section to do the cuffs, and a quick band for the arm side. Figure out how to fix that pocket on another day. And that's what I've been spending some time doing this. It's morning now. I won't even say this evening, this morning. Here you have this is a Mimi G wrap dress that I made back in, I think, December. It was one of my last makes, or my last make, actually, I think, of 2022, actually. It was this Mimi G tie front dress. I want to love it mainly because this is a fabric I have loved so much that I've tried to make a dress out of it twice. I made the Sicily slip dress, which I'm also fixing for my sister. And then I made myself this because I figured this would be more wearable for me. Unfortunately, the slit, when I try and wear it with the boots that I would want to wear with this, it just rubs up against it. It sticks to it. Now, I've tried to wear it with a slip, maybe not a maxi length slip, but like a slip that would be an appropriate length. And then it's just wonky. It flops open too much. It is a wrap dress, and I just need to stop trying to make wrap dresses work for me and just deal with faux wrap dresses. I think that's what I need to just do. Anyways, this is going to be gifted to my best friend instead because, again, it is a stunning and someone's got to wear it. So I don't know if, it definitely calls for elastic in the back, and the elastic I put was just way too tight. So I need to loosen that. So I'm going to, I don't know, like why does one sew like this? What is this about? I know why I did it. It's because I was trying to make button loop with this, so I really wanted to make sure I was holding on. And as you can see, it is trying to run away. It's fraying, so I was trying to stabilize that. But wow, it's aggressive, it's unnecessary, and now I'm kicking myself because I'm the one that has to pick through that without stabbing myself with this. I have to be very careful with how I'm wielding this weapon at the moment. But yeah, so I'm going to take that off. The length that I had hemmed it was far too short for her. My best friend is taller than me. So I had this hemmed up quite a bit. If you watch the video where I made this, you see that the pattern piece versus the image of Mimi G in this dress, which has no like lengthened, shortened cut line or indication that she shortened it for the photo. I talk about it more in the video. Led me to believe that this was going to need to be lengthened. So I lengthened it significantly. It did not. I should have just went off of the actual pattern piece, which I put on my body. And that should have told me that this is well and good, long enough. Anyways, luckily I did that because now, because I didn't cut it, thank goodness, I was so wise. I just have so much fabric here. This is over, so this is where the line where it was hemmed. So I doubled it and had this really deep hem. And now I get to unpick that. That was blind hem stitched originally. Do you see the remnants of what was a blind hem stitch right along the bottom here. So it was blind hem stitched here. So on the front of the fabric were just these little, like the little dots where it was catching the fabric. Well, it shouldn't actually be dots, but I do that just for my heart to know that it caught the fabric. And because this print is so busy, you wouldn't tell. But really, the blind hem stitch is supposed to be blind. You're supposed to like barely catch 3 threads. But for me, I'm like, when I step on that with the back of my heel, that blind hem stitch is getting snatched out. I must catch more. Don't worry about it. I had to unpick that, which is really hard to actually unpick. It's not hard. It just wasn't fun. So it was more of like a every single time it caught the fabric I had to pick. So anyways, I spent some time doing that. So that's why it is done. However, because I probably didn't do my blind hem stitch the way that I should have, it like catches in parts in the fabric where I have to now, you know, like I shouldn't be doing this, I'm sure, but I like pull it apart so that those threads where the blind hem stitch was can come apart. And then where the threads kind of remain, then I have to go in and further remove them. It's just a process. Then I have to like pick out all the threads. It's going to be a process. Anywhoosers, once I do that and try and get all of this hem, like heat and bond tape off. Thankfully, it wasn't that great adhesive wise, or maybe it's temporary. No, this is the temporary one. It's not the permanent one. Otherwise, I was going to say, girl, do your job. But I don't want you to do your job right now because actually you got to go. Anyways, I'm getting delirious. So let me just tell you what the plan is here. More work must be done, but because I wasn't feeling generative, like I'm not about to sew, but I was feeling creative or inspired to be within the sewing room, I was like, you know what, girl, while you still have navy serger thread in your serger, get all these navy makes that have other homes to bless. Get all of these done or started, or at least thought about. My goodness, I have made promises to folks. Anyway, what will happen here now that I have, look from that line to this, look at all of that length she just gained. So what I think I'm going to do is what would be like a normal hem. I think I'm going to fold over, use that selvage as a mark because it is so straight. I think I'm going to do like a 5/8 of an inch, do a double fold. I think that's enough. That still gives her one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 inches of length. Let me see how good I am at eyeballing things. Is that 4 inches? About 5 inches of length. I don't recall when she came over and we tried this on. Did I actually take a note and say, like, this is how much more it needs? No, I did not. What I probably did was, I'll just undo it. Will I hem it before I see her? Or should I see her again? What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to fix the other things. I definitely will at least stitch up the actual, like, the first hem. But before I, like, do the final rollover, I will have her wear it so that I just hem it to what she needs. And she could just, like, sit and play with the kiddos while I do that last little bit. That is what we will do. Okay, that is settled. So I returned to my task at hand, which was removing these. Really, I mean, I was serious. I was certain that this button loop shall not part from this dress. But I mean, it has other things to do now. Ooh, that seems like you are going through fabric. Girl, relax yourself. You know how you just like insert the seam ripper and you're like, do what you must. And then sometimes you have to say, but hold on. I mean, like, check in with me though. Like, check in with me before you do something that we both regret. I mean, my name is on the line. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Do I have anything else that would be relevant to tell you at this time? Probably not. So you can go on your way. I will report back once I have something for you. Okay, once there is something to share, once progress has been made, my friends, you will be alerted. I mean, who else am I going to tell, really? You know, who else? Oh, look, it came off with all of the thread. Whew. All right. Do I feel the elastic loosening? In what way did I insert this elastic? What did I do? At least it's a channel and it's not like surged in there. So I sewed about 5/8 of an inch, and then the elastic is just in there, no top stitching. So I should, in theory, if I can remember again where I stitched it. Okay, I think I stitched it down here. Because I can feel the end of the elastic. That's perfect. So that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that out. And then I'm actually just going to remove the elastic altogether, I think. And then again, because it's a channel, this might be something that I allow her to try on while she's here. And then decide, one, does it need elastic? Because again, I made this in my size, and she just may not need that elastic. Really, the elastic wasn't holding much, as you can see. There are some ripples, but it's not like that much. So this is where the fabric would be, and then this is where it is. You know, it's not that much. So maybe it just doesn't need elastic for her use, and I could just take it out altogether, and that could just be as simple as that. And then we figure out other things. Other things can be sorted. I will talk to you forever if you let me, so let me say goodbye. And I'll continue to talk to myself because it is what I do. But at least you don't need to hear it, and let it not be caught on tape, because what's going to happen is when I'm editing, I'm going to say, well, I mean, you recorded it, so you might as well. And really, no. Because this video is long enough. And really, you want to see results. I'm certain of it. But if anything good happens, I'll ping back and let you know. Really, I think I found a way in. Hold on. Look. All right, so I just undid that little bit. I'm going to undo a little bit of serging up here, because I think I can weasel my way through a little crevice into this little channel and retrieve. This is a mission and retrieve. Look at that. Let's enter. Oh, it's like surgery. There it is. Come on out. There you are. And I get to salvage my elastic. Oh, no. I have it sewn in somewhere else, it seems. But this time we're just going to cut it out, actually. Perfect. Now, what I should do is find where I've also sewn it in on the other end, but that would mean that I'm putting another hole that I then have to close, and I don't want to do that now. This is where the elastic starts, and this is where it ends. And this is how much right? It's gathered. So that means if I cut it, it'll be about this length of elastic stuck in there. Is it worth me making another incision, having another hole to close, or do I just cut it as close as I can get? I don't really think that width of elastic will bother her as far as comfort. And it's a soft elastic, so I don't think it's something that she would feel, because that would be my only concern, is if like leaving something in the garment that she's like, what the heck is that? But I honestly don't think it's noticeable. I can't even see where it is. That really is strange. I don't know where. I can't actually feel where it is. So because of that, I feel pretty good about this. Okay. That's brilliant. So what I should do is put a clip right here so that I remind myself in the future, whenever I get back around to this, that there's a hole here that I need to go back and fix. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to get so excited, work on all the other stuff, and forget that I put a hole in the piece. This is the pin I'm looking for. One of my little clips. I don't want to put like a pin in here because I don't want to hurt myself. I will not remember it's there, and that will hurt. This I want to make sure is actually grabbing on enough fabric so that it doesn't fall off before I recognize what I'm supposed to be reminded of. Also, something that I put in here was a modesty panel, which ended up, because this is a jersey, which is the type, anyways, because this is a jersey and the fabric I was using is a woven, somehow I got things a little bit wonky where, if you can see here, it's just like, it's wrinkly. It's wrinkling the fabric. And what I need to do is remove this modesty panel, because when you wear it, it gives a ripple. It's messing up the drape of the garment. And that is, the drape of this is so fabulous. And she doesn't need it. So I am going to unpick that. And unfortunately, because it was an afterthought, I didn't do it in the making of it. I just sort of stitched it like right into a seam, like right on top. So I unfortunately think I'm going to have to go in and sort of, oh no, I can do it on the woven side at least. I don't have to try and pick into a knit fabric. So I'm going to follow along. Luckily, I did use a different color thread, so I'm just following the brown stitching here. And what I would love to be able to do is insert my seam ripper. And you know, when you put the ball into the fabric and then you just slide the seam ripper and it rips. But because of the way that I sewed this in, I don't actually know if that would be advisable. Let me see. Especially with it being a jersey fabric. There's something about knit that I just don't know if this works the same. Let's see. What I'm afraid of doing is ripping, accidentally somehow ripping the woven fabric. Like, I mean, it's slow and steady, but it's probably going to be faster than the other way. It's actually working. So here's what I'm doing. I insert the ball portion into the fabric, which I heard is how you're actually supposed to use it, so that the pointy sword part is actually on top, like facing where I can see it. And then I just slide it. Again, because I'm working with a knit and a woven, I'm trying to keep it really to the side of the woven because I feel like that's structured more. I'm just sliding it. And if I use a bit of tension with my hands to sort of separate the fabric as I go, it reveals more of the thread and it allows it to kind of cut through a bit easier, especially since my my seam rippers are quite dull. I really need to get some new ones. I was just at Walmart today. I really should have just picked some up. This this journal entry, as it seems, could have been a video all on its own. But I'm glad I got to show you what I'm up to this fine evening, and that's what I'm doing. I've been really, really sick, really sick, which is why you have not seen me in weeks. You've seen 2 videos from me since I returned from Guinea. Guinea was wonderful. It was fabulous. The kids were incredible on the plane, and they also did really well back home. It was lovely seeing family. We got to do a ton of traveling, like so much more than I would have. No, we did like the traveling that we planned, and we planned though, and God plans. And listen, I'm just so grateful. So alhamdulillah, the trip was incredible and it was great. But lots of sickness when we got back, tons of sickness. I'm still recovering. And it's been over a month since I've been back. So I've been like terribly ill. But I'm on the mend. This has been the first night in over a month that I'm actually in the sewing room. The first. And of this whole month, I've been home. I think I stepped down here the weekend I got back, put some interfacing in some of the projects that I had cut out before I left, and then never saw this room again until today. So I am really happy to be down here, even if it's just doing this. This feels so good to be working on something. I will say I cut out 2 projects earlier, and I'm just going to share that with you because I do think I might just upload this as a journal entry, really, because I'm already going into details about stuff. So, unedited, here you go. This is me, off the cuff. I have this is a vintage butterick pattern, as you can see here. It is butterick 6422. Amazing, amazing, amazing tops. I cut out view. It's basically view A. I just didn't include any pockets. And I finally used my hibiscus cotton fabric, y'all. Hibiscus cotton. Finally used it. This is a fabric from Joann Fabrics. I have been talking about it for ages. And then I cut out S9114 out of this gorgeous, I think it's a cotton. I'm quite certain it's a cotton. But look at this texture. Look at this gingham with this texture. This is a thrifted fabric. It's 45 inches wide, so, you know, the shorter width, which did make it quite challenging, actually. But I was committed to getting like a, you know, fall-ish skirt out of it. So I went for it and cut out the bodice of S9114, which is this Mimi G pattern. I've made it before. Love this bodice. I did not even trifle. I didn't even play like I was going to be able to get this skirt out of it because it is a fabric hungry beast. It requires at least 4 yards of fabric, and that is 60 wide. So I knew it wasn't even, it wasn't going to work. But I did work out that I had, the way that I cut it out, I did it in such a strategic way, which you will see another time. I finally decided to sit down and actually use my project notebook, which I own. And I found that the only reason I don't write in it is because I never remember to bring it up with me when I'm cutting. But look, I had it open and I had a pen and I just wrote all the details. It worked perfectly. So listen, I ended up with a 56-inch piece with the full width, the full 44 inches. So with those 56 inches, my hip measures at 44 inches. So I believe what I'm going to do is take that length of fabric I'm going to cut it. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to cut it. What am I going to do? I am going to cut a back piece and cut 2 pieces for the front, possibly. I do have notes. I am trying to figure out, should I continue the button front all the way down and lose those 4 inches? Because I would have to turn it over to get the button front. I would be losing 4 inches, which means that I'm only going to have 50, I guess 4 inches total, plus I have to account for side seams, right? Because I am going to add pockets because I'm making mine into, because it just needs pockets. That's why. So with all of that, I would say at least 5 to 6 inches. Let's just go ahead and say it. At least 5 to 6 inches. Am I willing to lose 5 to 6 inches, bringing me down to a scant 51 inches of fabric to gather up onto the bodice? Is that enough fullness when my hip is a 44-inch hip? That is a measly few inches difference. I won't have it. Now that I'm hearing it out loud, it's like, why would you do that? I mean, but is it, I also think that I'm going to add slits to it because it's not going to be a tiered situation, which most of my maxi or midi length dresses are usually tiered. I have rarely, if ever, made a dress that I wear often. I mean, if I have, I just don't wear it often enough to remember it. Made a dress where it's a single length of gathered fabric onto the bodice at the maxi or midi length. So that is perplexing to me. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is, I think I might not be able to continue the button front all the way down the front. So I'll cut the fabric that I have, the 56 inches. I'll cut it in half so that I have the side seam so I can insert the pockets. And I also want to do a slit at the bottom. I think in order to have the ease of like walking and to put some sort of movement to it, because it's not going to have the button up front, which would at least be able to give me a little bit of a vent at the bottom, I should at least do some side slits up the sides. And I could always wear it with boots if I don't want my, legs to show with tall boots. So I think that is going to be my resolution, so that I could, out of a 45 width fabric at just 3 yards, get a full dress out of it that I would be happy with for the autumn and winter. So that's the plan. Those are 2 things that I cut out tonight. As you can see how late it is. That is late, but I, again, finally felt like myself, which I have not in over 5 weeks. So for me, I'm soaking it up. And if that means that this is the time that I'm up, and trust, I'm going to bed right after this little chat, then that's what it is. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited about that. I hope I don't feel terrible tomorrow, and I'm really hopeful that this feeling, what I'm experiencing, continues. I know this is a high, and I'm, of course, because I'm in this element, I think, trying to lean into the euphoria. So I am still tired. I am still in discomfort. I am still, it's not great, but like, this is so much better than it's been, and I'm milking it. So I'm going to smile. I'm going to rejoice. I'm going to be grateful and thankful and excited about that. And that's where I am. So modesty panel is out. So now you see the full actual true wrap. It's not connecting to itself. The back of the dress has been released from that tension that it was under. The sleeves were also really short on her, which whomps, because I want her to love this. What I think I might do, because I definitely have like a navy fabric that would match that. I mean, it's navy. I think what I'm going to do is give her a double sleeve moment, like to cut this shape, but just longer, where it would actually end as a long sleeve on her, like even to the point where maybe it extends a little bit lower. The same shape, but just extend that so it's a bit more dramatic, so that she has that. So if she does want to actually wear it with the sleeves down, she can, because alternatively what she was planning to do was just to like pop the sleeves up. But I don't want her to have to do that. If she wants to, even with the double sleeve, I think she could, but I don't want her to have to do that. Also, I tried to use that same, it's like it's a metallic elastic that I had thrifted, I think at Scrap, from when I went up to Michigan in Ann Arbor, but it is not the right thing for the job that I was trying to do. So I need to put an actual like loop of some sort for a button, because that is just not going to work. Here it's also come apart, so that just needs to come out. Like legitimately was just falling off. So I need to remember to add that double sleeve, which might mean that I need to remove this binding that I have, maybe, so that I can really just attach it to it. And then maybe I could do that binding in navy to match. That would be nice. So should I sit here and do more of that unpicking just so it's all like undone when I'm ready to redo it? These are the things when you start fixing stuff, there's just so much to fix. And there I go again with that darn zigzag. It's like when I make clothes, I'm like, till death do we part. And then sometimes you actually do need a part and you're like, is it going to be you or me? You know, is it going to be you or me? Because why did I choose violence? Why? Who does this? Oh, what is this? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because this is the most unfiltered I think you've ever gotten on this channel. This is how I talk to myself. In my sewing room. I'm also down with kindergarten germs. There's that. I am the proud mom of a kindergartner. Like, we are in full-blown elementary school, you all. And I just love it. I love it for my son, but I also had to remind myself that we are in it. We are in the thick of flu and cold season, and the other, you know, the new one that we have been introduced to in the past couple of years. We're also in that season, and it is just critical that and for many other reasons, obviously, since I have been unwell, it's like, girl, where is your vitamin C intake? Where is your emergency? Who is here supporting you and your immune system? Where's the ginger tea? Do the things, please, ma'am, for yourself and all who depend on you. What is happening? So I need to fortify myself, because, wow, it has already begun. And school has only been in session, I mean, a measly 3 weeks. Can I at least ease into the season? If I keep looking at this dress, I'll find more things that need to be done. And that's probably not a bad thing, but honestly, do you need to see it? Probably not. Again, longer video than maybe you bargained for, than you asked for. You're probably like, speed this up. Ma'am, please stop talking. What exactly are you talking about? You might have questions, some that I've answered, a number maybe that have gone unanswered, some that you didn't even know you had until I asked it, and then you were like, I mean, do tell. And then I didn't. You know, many things, but when I say sometimes, you guys, like, I could talk to you all forever, like, can we just hop on Zoom together? Let's just do that. Anyway, since we last spoke, since you've last seen me in like a live capacity, in like a present, I'm recording a video that you are actually seeing close to the time I recorded it fashion prior to my trip. I've had a birthday. I had my birthday in August. That went without much commotion because I was in bed sick, like terribly. And then I've also celebrated a 7th, let's do some math, 2016, 2023, 7th wedding anniversary. Also, very sick. I looked over and I said, hey, today's our anniversary. And that was the celebration. That was it. An acknowledgement, and grateful. But yeah, that was that. So I've had those two really amazing, splendid things. Not in the health to fully feel like I got to celebrate them, but with life and with recovery and with a healthy family and good things happening. Listen, all I can say is I feel blessed. I'm grateful. And it was a celebration enough for me. Didn't do any fabric purchases. I didn't even continue my annual Mood Fabrics haul, y'all. Call it sick, call it leaning into the abundance that is my own personal stash, but I was just not feeling it. I went to the Mood Fabrics website and I was like, girl, you called it an annual birthday Mood Fabric haul. You've done it 2 years a running. Keep it up. And nothing felt urgent at all. I even found myself actually revisiting prints that I had previously purchased, and like, oh, do you just get like more yards? And I was like, ooh, this feels forced. I said, this feels forced. Why are we doing that? I was like, it is your money, right? Or his money. Whoever was going to pay for it, I don't know. But like, why? If you don't actually want anything, like, don't get it. Also, I recognize that from last birthday haul and my first one, actually, I still have fabrics untouched. How about you sew yourself up a dress from fabric that you've purchased? Happy birthday to you. That would also work. I told myself that, and I actually was more interested in cleaning up and reorganizing my fabric stash. Actually, I was like, that would be so motivational for me right now. Like, that would feel like I just gifted myself new fabric. Because I know I've done such an incredible job curating fabric in my stash that I just haven't touched in a long time. And my organization center where my fabric is right now is unruly. I haven't shown it to you all, but ooh, I have to go in there multiple occasions because it's in our laundry room and it is unruly. It's making my heart it's like heartburn. It's not good. So I think I will spend some time. I might do a video on that if I wear clothes that's suitable to be seen online while I do that activity. But that is definitely on the list. That was a long roundabout way of saying that I did not buy for Mood Fabrics for my birthday this year like I usually do or have done in the past 2 years. But I'm actually grateful that I actually felt that I had enough that I didn't need to do that. Okay. So I've begun taking that off. I will actually say goodnight or good morning right now, actually, because I will spare you the boringness of watching me undo this. I will see if I have the nerve to go ahead and post this online. And if you see this, know that I did. And it's because I feel safe in this space. And I know that I can come as I am Dry lip and all. I mean, this entire time, because I didn't know I was going to be ranting this long, all I wanted to do was put on some Blistex, Carmax. I would have taken a pot of Vaseline. But you accept me for who I am in my dehydration and all, and I so appreciate you for that. And I hope that you've enjoyed this rant, and that if I have kept you company while you are cutting out patterns, fabric, washing dishes, going on a walk, are you crocheting, knitting, embroidery, flossing, I hope I have been able to keep you company. I hope you have not minded taking a little stroll through the thoughts that perplex me in my creative space. When I get really focused, I make faces that make me look like my dad. And honestly, better you see it than me, because they are so focused and unattractive, mind you. Not that my dad is handsome, man. I mean the faces that I make. Because it just get so focused, and I feel myself doing it. Like, I feel my jaws dropping and my face doing it. So, good night. I will never end this. So good night. Au revoir. I so appreciate you. Subscribe if I have the ability to come to you again. If I have another day like this, and let's hope that there are more, you may see me sometime soon, rather than later. But I hope you are well. I hope things have been good with you. And here's my little check-in that I didn't know I was going to do. Good night. Bye.